Why does she have to work in that factory all them years and her lungs get all messed up? Her heart is beating strong and she's still gonna die. Lord, 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 why? Yeah, sure thing. Great news. All right. Hey, honey bunch. Guess what? We got that phone call today. Yeah, it looks like you're going to be getting a brand new heart. Yeah, somebody's probably going to die, but you're going to be all right. Good thing we got great insurance, and this calls for a little celebration. Yes, we're going to be all right. Whoop. Maybe we can get that fixed too. Hey, welcome to Hype Healthcare. I'm your resident registered nurse, Willie L. Stewart, and I'm part of the editorial staff of the #1 digital magazine in the world, the Hype magazine. And what you just witnessed were two sides of the same coin. Not sure how you got here, whether it was from the Hype website or whether you found me through a search, but you're here now, and welcome to my world. So, let's examine a little bit about organ donation. It's a scary proposition. I'm not against it, and I'm not for it. I mean, if it was one of my family members that needed an organ, I'd probably be the first one in line to say, hey, can we get a kidney? But, you know, unless we're military or got excellent insurance, chances are it may not be covered. And that's just the reality for a lot of Americans out there, is you have health insurance or you don't have health insurance, and the health insurance you have may be a little bit substandard. But what are the chances of you really getting that kidney or that heart or something else that you might need, unless you're on Medicaid or something like that? Middle class people are going to get hit real hard when it comes to choices like that. So you just saw two scenarios where gentleman was calling out to Jesus about his spouse or loved one that died because they worked in the factory and their lungs went all bad, but heart is really strong, so she's a good candidate for organ donation. Now, we don't know whether he signed the card or not, or whether she signed the card or not, and he's grieving right now. But the organ donation people are about to give him a phone call, and that starts prior to death. It starts way prior to death. It starts when they identify you based on a couple of different characteristics that our critical care nurses are taught to look for. And if you meet those criteria, then we give the organ donation people a phone call. And we say, hey, this patient is at death's door. These are the criteria. And they let us know if you're a candidate for organ donation or not. Now, the gentleman kneeling at the bedside, of course, that was me. We don't know if he signed the card or not, and neither do they. You may have identified that on your driver's license, but maybe he doesn't know that she signed the card. Who knows? But you're going to get a phone call anyway. And during that phone call, they're going to ask you about organ donation. Now, I've never received that phone call, so I can't tell you what they say, you know, what the template is for how to address you during your time of grief. But I do know on my end of it, as a healthcare professional, that we are getting phone calls back, and they'll ask us if you have had any type of communicable disease. They ask for your white blood cell count. They start checking all that stuff out before you go to meet Jesus. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm not for it or against it, because I have mixed feelings about it. I guess I'm a bit hypocritical in that sense, because I would want my family member to benefit from organ donation, or me to benefit from organ donation, but it's a very creepy process that happens. So I'm doing this video blog here to try to bring attention to it, because you may not know about it until you're hit with that phone call. And then you may be feeling some kind of way about the healthcare system. And I don't want you to feel some kind of way. I want you to be informed. That's the purpose of Hype Healthcare, is to make sure that you, my readers, and my listeners and my people that are watching this video blog right now are well informed about lots of things about healthcare. Now, my friend here, she attends all of our parties at her house. She guards the door sometimes. She greets the guests. But she needs a heart. And the other one that was laying in the bed there has a very strong heart. Bad lungs, the lungs that are going to kill her. So in one household, there's grieving, there's mourning, there's crying, there is anticipation of loss. And in her household, there is celebration going on. There are phone calls being made. Hey, we got the surgery. We're going to be getting ready. I'm packing my iPad up, my computer, because I'm going to need it when I'm in the hospital recovering. But we're going to live today. All right, all right, all right. So not to make light of any of that stuff, I just, bringing a little levity to it so that you can examine everything in its entirety about organ donation. It's a good thing for some people, and for others, it gives them a chance to see that their loved one lives on, maybe in someone else, or a sense of purpose during that time. But for some people, it's going to be downright ugly. To get that phone call during your time of grieving and someone with their hands out, ooh, we need that organ for this person over here who has great insurance that you might not have had. Maybe your wife could have benefited from some type of lung surgery or a transplant herself and didn't have the insurance or didn't have adequate employment. I'm not going to get into any political debates. I'm not going to get into any suggestions one way or the other one about organ donation, because as I've said, I am a hypocritical person in regards to that, because I would want to take benefit of it, but I wouldn't want anyone calling me about my family member. I want to go meet Jesus as a whole person. And that's what they say in the Bible, that you're going to be raised. To me, that means you're going to be pulled out of the ground some kind of way, a lot of dirt on you or something. I don't know. That's open for debate. But either way, I want to go into the ground with whatever God gave me, and that's my opinion on it. You may have a different opinion. If you are an organ donor or if you've signed the card, you are definitely going to be able to help somebody else out if you didn't have some major infection or if there wasn't a lot of trauma. But even if there was trauma, they might be able to use your cornea. They're going to try to use every piece of you that they can get their hands on. And if you sign the organ donation card and they can't use you in that respect, you may get donated to a medical facility or something for research. Who knows? I don't know how that process works right there. But either way, you're going to have some decisions to make, whether you know it or not. Somebody, somewhere, is patiently waiting for you to die. Make sure you head on over to www.thehypemagazine.com. Check out my blog on that website. I am the healthcare columnist for the #1 digital magazine in the world. And just like I did right now, I'm going to be bringing to you the real deal in healthcare. I'm going to talk to people if they'll talk to me. For instance, I recently wanted to do a piece on Magic Johnson when the gentleman that owns the basketball team referred to him as having AIDS. And that debate needs to come back to the forefront. Magic Johnson never had AIDS. He had HIV, and he probably still has it, but he's under control. And that needs to be brought to the attention of people today. And I wanted to talk to Magic Johnson. So shout out to Magic Johnson. I didn't get a chance to talk to you. I wasn't quick enough on the trigger, but if you will one day talk to me, because the public needs to know about how you're handling your disease and how you're benefiting the public as a whole, educating people about being careful not to get that disease. My brother was a man about this, and he stood up, he admitted to his faults, and he warned you way back then when he knew very little bit about it himself to wrap it up and don't get his disease. So that's the kind of things that I'm going to be talking to you about, relevant to today's topics in health and in the media, And if there's some celebrity out there that happens to be relevant in healthcare, I'm going to try to reach out to them as well. And not just here in the States, but worldwide. I'm going to be talking to people everywhere, and I'm going to be bringing you issues from all across the globe. The Hype magazine is an international magazine, and I'm your international healthcare correspondent. So thank you very much for seeing my video blog here. Like I said, head on over to hypemagazine.com and look for my written blog there, and then get a subscription to the Hype magazine, because I appear in print in there. August will be my first live print article worldwide with the Hype magazine. I'm proud of that. And I want you guys to be a part of what I'm doing, and that's getting hype about healthcare. Peace.
Shh.